Thanks for coming to play. I hope you're excited to try a Canadian Highlander. It's one of my favorite formats. Do you know what your points are? I don't really know. You handed me this deck and told me it was Jeskai tokens. Oh yeah, I think you're running Triple Mox and 4th Aer Lingus. What pointed cards are you running? I've got Mox Ruby, Mox Jet, Ancient Tomb, all of those are proxies, 4th Aer Lingus, White Plume Adventure, and Reanimate. Why do you have like twice as many as me? Well, cards are pointed at different values, so I'm only running 2 Moxen, which are 3 points each, and then 4 cards that are each 1 point. You're running 3 Moxen, which are each 3 points, and then 1 1-pointed card. Alright, on your end step, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice my Polluted Delta to go search for a Badlands and put it into the battlefield. Alright, then on my turn, I'm going to tap my Ancient Tomb and my Sacred Foundry, taking another 2 damage to play a White Plume Adventure, and when it enters, I will take the initiative. So I'll venture into the Undercity. The first room says I search my library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into my hand, and then I shuffle. I'm going to go find a swamp, and I'm going to go ahead and play that swamp for turn. Then I'm going to go ahead and tap my swamp to play a Dark Ritual, which will add 3 black mana to my mana pool. I will use all 3 of that to play Saw in half on my White Plume Adventure, so I will sacrifice it and create 2 token copies of it that have half of its power and toughness rounded up. So I'll have 2/2/2 White Plume Adventures. When each of them enters, I will venture further into the Undercity. So first, I'll go ahead and put 2 1/1 counters on my Fear of Missing Out. In response, I'm going to Prismatic Ending your Fear of Missing Out, because you definitely have Delirium and I don't want you having extra combat stats with whatever you're doing. Yeah, that's fair. And then I'll move into the Trap, which will have you take 5 damage. And then I'll go ahead and pay 1 black with my Badlands to play Reanimate on my White Plume Adventure, putting it back into the battlefield, and I'll take another 3 damage. When that enters, I will once again venture into the dungeon. This time I'll go to the Archives and draw a card. I can't get much luckier than that. I'm going to go ahead and tap my Deathrite Shaman to exile my Polluted Delta from my graveyard to add a white mana and play Cloud Shift on my White Plume Adventure, which will blink it. When it comes into play again, I will venture into the last room of the dungeon, the Throne of the Dead 3. I will look at the top 10 cards of my library, and then I will get to put 1 into the battlefield. I will go ahead and grab my Mardu Siegebreaker, which will enter with 3 counters, and it will gain Hexproof until my next turn. When Mardu Siegebreaker enters, I will exile my White Plume Adventure underneath it, and whenever it attacks, I will create a copy of it that's tapped and attacking as well. It has haste, so I will go ahead and swing with a 7/7 Death Touch Haste Hexproof Mardu Siegebreaker, which will create a 3/3 copy of my White Plume Adventure, also tapped and attacking you. When the White Plume Adventure enters, I will venture into the dungeon again, starting over and finding another basic land. Yeah, actually, I was dead when you went into the trap the first time.
Hello, I'm coming to MagicCon Vegas this year. It's been 2 years since I was there. Last year I bought tickets and I didn't make it. So I'm very excited to be there this year. I was really bummed not to make it last year. I have a new camera. I've got a 10-foot cord for my mic so I can do little interviews like I did last time. I'm excited to be there. If you recognize me, if you come up to me, I've got little things to give away. I'm going to be there with my brother and some other friends, but I also will not be there in the evenings because I'm going to be out in Vegas doing stuff with my wife. But I will be there all 3 mornings, and I've signed up